Oh, sure. Okay. Sarah lived to be 127 years old. Such was the span of Sarah's life. Sarah lived in Kiriathaba, that is Hebron, in the land of Canaan, and Abraham proceeded to mourn for Sarah and to bewail her. Then Abraham rose up from upon his dead wife and spoke to the Hittites, saying, I am a foreigner, living for a time among you. Sell me a grave site among you, that I may bury my dead here. The Hittites answered Abraham, saying, Hear us, my lord. You are a mighty prince in our midst. Bury your dead in any of our choicest graves. Not one of us will keep you from burying your dead by withholding a grave site from you. Abraham then got up and bowed low to the people of the land, the Hittites, pressing them, if you really are willing to let me bury my dead here, listen to me and entreat Ephron, son of Zohar, for me, and let him sell me the cave of Machpelah. He owns it. It is at the edge of his land. Let him sell it to me as an inalienable gravesite in your midst at the market price. Ephron himself was sitting among the Hittites. And in the hearing of all the Hittites and all the town leaders, Ephron the Hittite answered Abraham, saying, No, my lord, listen to me. I am giving you the field and the cave that is in it. I give it to you in the sight of my people. I give it to you. Go ahead, bury your dead. Abraham listened to Ephron, and Abraham weighed out for Ephron the amount of silver he had.
Oh, you skipped
to 12.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But Abraham bowed low before the landowning citizens, and in their hearing he addressed Ephron the Hittite. Oh, if only you would listen to me. I will pay the field's price. Take it from me, and let me bury my dead there. Ephron then made this reply to Abraham, My lord, hear me. Land worth 400 shekels of silver. What is that between you and me? Go bury your dead. Abraham listened to Ephron, and Abraham weighed out for Ephron the amount of silver he had named in the hearing of the Hittites, 400 shekels of silver, using weights standard among traders. So Ephron's land in Machpelah, looking out on Mamre, the field, its cave, and all the trees in the field within its boundaries, passed to Abraham by purchase in the sight of the Hittites and of all the town leaders. Afterward, Abraham buried his wife Sarah in the cave of the field of Machpelah, facing Mamre, that is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. Thus was confirmed Abraham's acquisition from the Hittites of the field and its cave as a fully owned gravesite.
It certainly was.
Nice.
Do they
They're
know
all
what
buried
that is? No. Abraham was old, well advanced in years, and the Eternal had blessed Abraham in every way. Abraham now said to his slave, the elder of his household, who had oversight of all that was his, Put your hand under my thigh, so that I may have you swear by the Eternal, God of heaven and God of earth, that you will not take a wife for my son from among the daughters of the Canaanites, in whose midst I dwell. Rather, you shall go to my land, my birthplace, and get a wife for my son Isaac. The slave replied, Suppose the woman does not care to follow me to this land. Should I then bring your son back to the land you came from? Abraham then answered him, Take great care not to bring my son back there. The eternal God of heaven, who took me from my father's house, from the land of my birth, who spoke to me and promised me, saying, To your descendants will I give this land, will send a divine emissary before you, and you shall take a wife for my son from there. But if the woman does not care to follow you, you are released from this oath of mine only. Do not bring my son back there. The slave placed his hand under his master, Abraham's thigh, and swore to him concerning this matter. The slave then took 10 of his master's camels and, laden with an abundant store of his master's goods, got up and went to Amram Naharim, to the city of Nahor. He made the camels kneel down outside the city at the water well at eventide, at the time when the girls who draw water go forth. And he prayed, Eternal One, God of my master Abraham, please bring me luck today and do a kindness for my master Abraham. Here I am standing at the water fount, and the daughters of the townspeople are going forth to draw water. The girl to whom I say, Tip your pitcher and let me drink, and who replies, drink and let me water your camels too. Let her be the one let her be the one you have designated for your servant Isaac. That is how I shall know that you have done a kindness for my master. Before he was done praying, Rebekah, who had been born to Bethuel, son of Milcah, wife of Abraham's brother Nahor, was going forth with her pitcher on her shoulder. She was an exceedingly beautiful girl of marriageable age, whom no man had yet known. She went down to the spring, filled her pitcher, and went up. The slave ran toward her and said, let me sip a little water from your pitcher. And she replied, drink, sir. Quickly, she lowered her pitcher on her hand and let him drink. The drinking done, she said, I will draw some for your camels too, till they are done drinking. Quickly, she emptied her pitcher in the trough, and she again ran to the well to draw water, drawing water for all his camels. The man stood staring at her, silent, in order to learn whether or not the Eternal had cleared the way for him. When the camels were done drinking, the man took a gold nose ring, a half shekel in weight, and 2 bracelets for her wrists, 10 gold shekels in weight, and said, please tell me, whose daughter are you? Is there a place in your father's house for us to lodge? She said to him, I am Bethuel's daughter. He is the son of
Milcah.
Milcah, whom she bore to Nahor. And she added, you have straw and fodder in abundance, as well as room for lodging. The man kneeled and bowed down to the Eternal, saying, blessed is the Eternal, God of my master Abraham, whose faithful kindness has not deserted my master. As for me, the Eternal led me straightway to my master's brother's house. The girl then ran and related these things to her mother's household. Now Rebekah had a brother named Laban, and Laban ran outside to the man at the spring. When Laban saw the nose ring and the bracelets on his sister's wrists and heard his sister Rebekah say, this is what the man told me, he went to the man who was still standing by his camels at the spring. Come in, O blessed of the Eternal, said he. Why stand outside when I have cleared the house and also made space for the camels? So he ushered the man into the house, unsaddled the camels, and gave them straw and fodder, and brought water in to wash his feet and those of the men with him.
What do you think? Wait a minute. 1 second. What do you think of Laban? Well, first off, have you ever experienced this happen in your life where you might be asking for something, or something might be predetermined or something like that?
No, it's that he was able to pray and connect.
Yeah. Has that ever happened to anybody?
Well, God ordained it. God ordained that to happen.
Yeah.
His prayer, I was listening to how his prayer was said. We can learn from that.
Which
the way he did it,
yeah.
Hashem heard him.
Right. The slave's prayer, this one, Eternal One, God of my master Abraham, please bring me luck today. Is that the one you're thinking of?
Yeah, but before that, he was already...
Because he wasn't really praying for luck for himself. It was luck for his master. He was doing a good deed for somebody else.
Mm-hmm. What were you going to say, Bracha?
He had been thinking all along that he needed Hashem to help him in order to get this difficult task done. Mm-hmm. How was he going to know if the woman wanted to do it, if the woman would come back with him? How was he going to take care of this? So he had been thinking at this moment, he addresses Hashem, and he gets an answer.
He certainly did.
Yeah, it's magic. Or it's not magic, right? I mean, I don't think it's magic. I think it's happened to me on several occasions myself. Like, oh, things happen so quickly to me. When I need a bass, there's a bass. When Gary needs a guitar, there's a guitar. There's some money for a guitar. Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else? It's so great.
See, and I think of Laban as just it's funny how I look at things so differently. I just thought of Laban as he was just looking out for his sister. That's all.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he was just, he wants to know who this guy is, I mean, I can see him just being a good brother and making sure his sister is with a man that's appropriate for him. For her.
I looked into a source yesterday, and Laban was wicked, and he didn't have good.
That's correct. He really was.
When he first approached Eliezer.
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't get that, so that's interesting.
Well, we always know he was wicked.
Yeah. Well, I think sometimes it could be both too, right? I mean, a lot of times he was very, look back on a lot of his history.
He was very greedy. He was a very greedy man.
Right.
Yeah, but you don't see this in the paragraph. I'm taking
you don't see it here. You see it later on.
It for the first time. See, I'm not looking at what I know from the past. I'm just looking at it from the present. That's what I was looking at.
Correct.
Right. That's what we should do.
This is in the future. You find out that. That's right.
Yeah, I know, but we're only at the present at the moment.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
But I'll say that I think he's doing both, right? I think he's trying to protect his sister, but also when you see the words, when Laban saw the nose ring and the bracelets, right, on his sister's wrist, that's like a little clue, maybe, right? He saw the nose ring. If she came back without a nose ring or with no bracelets, what would he say? I don't know, but who knows? I'm sure he's doing both. I'm sure he's doing both deeds at once.
It's really, when I saw him having the nose, I didn't think of it as just a material thing. I thought of it as something like a betrothed thing. That's how I looked at it,
Yeah.
But I mean, everybody looks at it differently.
Isn't it a little bit heavy? I mean, I looked up how heavy that was in gold, and she had to have it on her nose. You know how difficult that would be?
I think the bracelets were very heavy.
Yeah, but also the gold
ring.
Nose ring.
The nose ring wasn't so heavy.
Yeah. And then he says, come in.
I suppose in those days they were used to the heaviness. I don't know.
Yeah, they were mighty people. They were walking for miles and miles, and they had to get somewhere, right?
And living for a lot of years.
Yeah.
Great. It's a great story. I love this story. It's so fantastic. And you hear, you think about Laban because we hear more about him when Jacob starts working.
When Jacob comes, right.
So it's really great stuff.
And he fools him.
Yeah. Does anyone else want to read? Pick up 33?
I'll read.
I don't know if it was fooling. We'll talk about it when it gets to that.
Okay.
I'll read.
Okay, Ruth.
But when food was put in front of him, the man said, I will not eat until I've had my say. He, Laban, said, speak. I am the slave of Abraham, said he, and the Eternal has blessed my master exceedingly and made him rich, giving him sheep and cattle, silver and gold, male and female slaves, camels and donkeys. Sarah, my master's wife, bore him a son in her old age, and my master has given him everything he owns. My master adjured me, saying, you must not choose a wife for my son from among the daughters of the Canaanites, in whose land I now live. Go rather to my father's people, to my relations, and take a wife for my son. I said to my master, what if the woman will not follow me? He answered, the Eternal before whom I have walked will send an angel with you who will clear the way for you. You will take a wife for my son, from my clan, from my father's family. You will be free from your obligation only if you go to my relations and they refuse you. In that case, you will be free from your obligation. When I came to the well today, I prayed, Eternal One, God of my master Abraham, if you truly intend to clear the way on which I am going, here I am at the water fount. When a young woman comes out to get water, I will say to her, please give me a drink of water from your pitcher. If she answers, go ahead and drink, and I will draw water for your camels too, let her be the one you have designated as the wife for my master's son. Before I had finished rehearsing my thought, Rebecca came with a water pitcher on her shoulder. Doesn't it seem like I just read this? Okay, but all right. With a water pitcher on her shoulder and went down to the well to go to get water. I said to her, please give me a drink. She quickly lowered her pitcher and said, drink, and I will water your camels too. Didn't we just read this? I'm getting confused.
Yeah, but he's recounting the story.
Oh,
For
okay.
Laban.
So I drank and she gave water to the camels too. I asked her, whose daughter are you? And she answered, I am the daughter of Bethel, son of Nahor and Milcah. Then I put the ring on her nose and the bracelets on her wrists. I knelt down in worship of the Eternal, and I praised the eternal God of my master Abraham, who had led me on the right path to get the daughter of my master's brother for his son. And now, if you mean to treat my master with faithful kindness, tell me. If not, tell me, and I will turn in another direction. Laban and Bethuel responded by saying, this matter has emanated from the Eternal. We cannot answer you one way or another. Look, Rebekah is before you. Take her and go. Let her be your master's son's wife, as the Eternal has decreed. When Abraham's slave heard their words, he bowed low to the Eternal and brought out silver and gold objects and articles of clothing and gave them to Rebekah. And to her brother and mother he gave precious gifts. So he and the men with him ate and drank and stayed overnight. When they got up in the morning, he said, send me off to my master. Her brother and mother said, let the girl stay with us another few days, 10 perhaps, afterwards she may go. But he said to them, do not delay me now that the Eternal has cleared the way for me. Send me off and let me go to my master. They answered, let us call the girl and see what she has to say. So they called Rebekah and asked her, will you go with this man? And she said, I will go. They then sent their sister Rebekah off with her nurse, with Abraham's slave, and with his men, bestowing this blessing upon Rebekah. Sister, may you become thousands of myriads. May your descendants take possession of the gates of their foes. Rebekah and her servant girls got up and mounted the camels and followed the man as the slave took Rebekah and went off. Now Isaac was coming from the approach to Beer-lahai-roi, for he was living in the area of the Negev. Going out toward evening to stroll in the field, Isaac looked up and saw camels coming. And Rebekah looked up, and seeing Isaac, she got off the camel and said to the slave, who is this? Who is this man striding in the field coming to meet us? He is my master, said the slave. Taking a veil, she covered herself. The slave then told Isaac all that he had done, and Isaac brought her into the tent of the mother Sarah. He took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her. Thus did Isaac take comfort after the death of his mother. You know what I don't understand? Wait a minute. He says, and Isaac brought her into the tent of his mother Sarah. He took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her. Thus did Isaac take comfort after the death of his mother. Oh, just the tent of Sarah. I thought it was Sarah herself. I'm sorry. My comprehension's off the wall today. I don't know what's wrong.
Sarah was gone.
That's it.
Sarah had already died.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And then when I saw her, it said, when it said, and Isaac brought her into the tent of mother Sarah.
Sarah's
confused
tent,
for me. I'm a little confused. I'm sorry. I've been confused a little bit recently.
A lot has happened in the last week. I understand.
Yeah.
Especially with my packing. That's all I do is pack and swim. I swim and then I pack.
That's so great. And it's so fast too, right? Like, oh, they're together now, Isaac. And
well, one of the things my husband told me, that in the olden days there was no such thing as weddings. What you did is you would lay down and have intercourse, and that was your
and then you were married. Right.
And that's it. You were married. You know,
Right.
It wasn't a big shading like we do today.
No, they didn't have big weddings.
that's something. Yeah. And also the veil. She holds up the veil, right? I mean, that's interesting.
Right.
Oh, she covered her. Well, that's what they do. Well, I think that's probably. Oh, I know why they with the veil. It's not from this. They did the veil. When we get to it, we'll do it. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Okay. So do you want me to continue? Or want somebody else to continue?
Who's feeling up to read? Maureen, you want to read tonight? Or?
No, not tonight. Thank you.
I'll try giving it a shot here.
Okay.
Abraham went on and took a wife named Keturah. She bore to him Zimran, Jokshan, Maiden, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. Jokshan begot Sheba and Dedan, and Dedan's sons were Ashurim, Letushim, and Lumim. Midian's sons were Epher, Hanoch, Abidah, and Eldaah. All these were Keturah's sons. Abraham gave all that he owned to Isaac, but to the sons of Abraham's concubines, Abraham gave gifts while he was still alive. He sent them away from Isaac eastward to the land of Canaan. These are the days of the years of Abraham's life. He lived 175 years. Abraham breathed his last and died in good old age, full of age, and was gathered to his people. His sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah, facing Mamre, in the land of Ephron, son of Zohar, the Hittite, the field that Abraham had bought from the Hittites. There Abraham and his wife Sarah were buried. After the death of Abraham, God blessed his son Isaac, and Isaac lived near Be'er Lachai Roi. Is this the same cave as? Go ahead, Dr. Mike. Yeah.
Okay. One point that I wanted to make. Notice that even though Ishmael was thrown out of the tribe, Isaac and Ishmael together were there for the burial.
Mm-hmm.
See that?
That is interesting. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Now I was going to ask: is this the same cave that Rebecca's buried in?
No, they're all buried there.
Are they? No.
They're all buried at the cave of Machpelah. All of the matriarchs and
Not
patriarchs.
Rachel. Not Rachel.
Oh no.
Rachel's the only one that isn't. Rachel has her own grave. Yeah.
Yeah. Rachel has her own tomb.
Oh,
That's correct.
Confused. Yeah.
But everybody else is buried in the caves of Machpelah.
Yeah.
Including Joseph.
Now, do we know where that is?
I don't know about Joseph.
Yes, in Hebron. I've been there.
Wow. Well, I gotta go.
In the days when you could go to Hebron, I don't think you can anymore.
Yeah. Because when we were in Israel last year, we went to King David's tomb, and that was wow. I didn't expect to feel like something was going on, like some spiritual energy was there at David's tomb.
Did you get to Rachel's tomb?
No, we didn't. That's one place we didn't get to.
Yeah, it's on the road. That's why it's right off the road.
Oh yeah.
I've been to them all. Well, when I went, you could go everywhere.
Oh, wow.
When I first went to Israel, it wasn't a problem.
Hmm.
Now there are places you can't go.
It's incredible.
I've been to Bethlehem and with the whole thing, but you can't do it now.
Yeah, Bethlehem's not there. Yeah, I was with
Yeah,
Alba.
you can't go to Bethlehem. Yeah.
Yeah, when I was in Israel, you could go to Bethlehem because I
Oh,
went
yeah.
there in the 1960s. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's it. You know, the 60s. I mean, and even later than that. I'm
Yeah.
talking about the 70s, the 80s. We could do that.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Mike, if you take a look at point number 9 at the bottom of your slide,
Oh yeah.
Isaac and Ishmael, take a look at it right there.
Mm-hmm.
It says of it, Ishmael, right?
After Abraham's
It's in the
death,
line.
or possibly after Sarah's, the two brothers seem to live in harmony. So yeah. Hey. Let us hope that happens again. Hello. Yay.
You never know.
We're trying to do that. We're trying.
Absolutely. Keep trying. We're all going to keep trying. So this is the line of Ishmael, son of Abraham, born by Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah's slave, to Abraham. It's so true. When we go through these names, it's like Abraham had how many kids? He must have had like 20, 30 grandchildren, 40, 100 maybe. He probably had 100 grandchildren.
Well, he lived all those years.
Yeah.
But some of them don't survive, Not all of them survive.
So here are the names of Ishmael's sons in their birth order. Ishmael, here we go. Okay, hold on. Let me get my, get my pronunciation going here. Here we go. I'm going to rev up. Ishmael's firstborn, Nebaioth, Kedar, Adbeel, and Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, and Massa, Hadad and Tamar, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedma. These then are Ishmael's sons, and these are their names by their villages and encampments, 12 princes by their tribes, just as God told them. We're going to make 12 princes for Ishmael. And these are the years of Ishmael's life, 137. He then expired and died and was gathered to his people. So now that's it. So Abraham dies and then Ishmael dies.
Right.
Occupied the area from Havilah to Shur, which is near Egypt on the way to Ashur. He settled in the presence of all his kin.
Mike, I think that we need to point out one more thing before we go. If you take a look at the names of Ishmael's sons, none of them are Hebrew. They're all Arabic.
Yeah. Well, absolutely.
Even though, Isaac got a wife, from where Abraham came from, over there, they were idol worshippers too. Am I
I
right?
thought Rebecca was from a different area.
Rebecca was what?
I thought Rebecca was from a different area.
No.
No, it was from his father.
Okay.
No, it was from his father's country. You're right. It was from his father's country. You're
From
right.
his father's country. Okay, so if Abraham was born in present-day Iraq, okay?
Okay, right, yeah.
All right.
Cool.
And then he went to Canaan. Isaac got a wife from Iraq.
I see. Yeah.
Okay, so everybody there was an idol worshiper, including his own father. So
I don't know whether his father, they never said that his father continued to worship idols after Abraham broke all the idols.
Well, we don't know because he left.
We don't know.
No, we
Maybe
don't
he
know
didn't.
because
Maybe he didn't.
Abraham left, and that was the end of that.
Right.
I
maybe-
agree with Maureen, though. I think there's one line where Abraham's father does kind of it feels to me like he's saying, okay, because I mean, what did he do? He was like the merchant of idols, right? That's what we
Right.
He was an idol maker.
Yeah, an idol maker. And so it's
I get a kick out of this.
yeah.
Abraham had to leave town because he wrecked his father's business.
Right. And you all remember, this is now a Talmudic story. This is not in the Bible. This is in the Talmud. That Abraham broke all of the idols that his father had made, and they were in storage. And when his father came over and he said, "Why did you do this? These are gods." And he says, "Well, if they're gods, how can it be that I destroyed them?" Remember that?
Yes, I do remember that because my husband was a Talmud.
Is that
He was a Talmud student. He would tell me that. Yeah.
And then I think because of that, his father said, probably figured to himself, well, you're right. So these idols are not God.
Right.
Right. Well, there was something about them saying something too, or he said, I forget too. Wasn't there some?
I think there was something he said. I think you're right, Mike.
His father probably said, "I agree, these are not gods. The next time I'll sell them at 50% off."
Mike, you're so bad. You're so bad.
Rebecca was the daughter of Milcah and Tahor.
Yeah, right.
And they were from a brother of Abraham. So
And
that's already a
when
second
Jacob
cousin.
when Jacob married Rachel and Leah, they were cousins also.
Mm-hmm.
Same family.
Mm-hmm.
They were Laban's daughters.
Right. Jacob was.
Well, this is
Laban
what
was his uncle.
Abraham wanted. He told Eliezer, "Go to where my family is and find
Yeah.
somebody."
So I guess I guess they were all intermarried with family there. Okay.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
Incidentally, if we're going to say any more, I just want to mention one thing about my granddaughter, Rebecca. She just was voted president of the National Honor Society in her high school.
That's funny. Mazel tov.
Good news.
And she came in third in the state for top entrepreneurs. She had to present a entrepreneur project to a bunch of judges in the state, and she came in third.
That's awesome.
She's so brilliant. She's so brilliant.
I love her
She's so
to
brilliant.
death.
It's unbelievable. And there's one more.
Uriel.
Who?
Uriel.
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 Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Muriel.
I don't know how I know that. It came from,
But you know it. Good, Cynthia, that was terrific.
You're
I would
smarter
remember it.
than you know you are, Cynthia.
I
You're way
know it.
smarter.
I even never cease to amaze myself.
Welcome, Melissa.
Oh, Cynthia, what a treasure. You guys are so
Oh,
sweet,
God.
so fantastic. Anything else? We had a big week. I was up to like 2 or 3, no, actually 4 in the morning on Tuesday, just waiting for some kind of.
Oh, well, I knew
resolution.
it wasn't going to happen on Tuesday night. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something, 11:30 in the morning, and I have to say, I haven't, I'm a big wine drinker. I always have been, but I have not had anything to drink since March.
Good.
The day, what was it, Saturday when we got the news?
Yeah.
I had my lunch. I had a nice glass of wine with my lunch. Thank you. It was celebration. It was celebration.
Muzzle tov.
Yes.
And all I can say is thank God I had some Xanax in the house.